because just like Dr. Rhonda just said, there is an assault now on our history. You see, schools want it out of the curriculum because it makes white students feel uncomfortable. Well, see, these aren't the white students that I've taught. Because, see, the white students that I taught, they were like, what? You, no, we didn't. I'm sure white students will come into my office and just have a meltdown.
But right now, I want to introduce you to a very special lady who is going to be our guest speaker at the Black History Month Literary Weekend. She is amazing. I met her in Philadelphia, and as soon as she told me who she was, I jumped out of my seat and gave her a hug. And I'm about to show you guys why. So let's welcome everybody. Everybody, help me welcome Dr. Regina Jennings to the show. Hello.
Hello. Always good to be with you, girl.
Oh, it's always good to have you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
So,
you.
I told the people, I said, when I met this lady and she told me who she was, I jumped out of my seat and I gave you a hug. Was I lying? Did I do that?
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
Okay, so can you share why I felt so compelled to jump out my seat and give you a hug?
Okay, first of all, I love hugs, people. Okay, so if you don't have any diseases when we meet, I really want a hug from you. That's first. Now, I am an original member of the Black Panther Party for self defense. And that's what made Dr. Rhonda say, what? And jump out of her chair, okay? And I just want to let all of you know what that means, even on an aesthetic understanding of our struggle. You see Rhonda's beautiful hairstyle? Well, she could thank me and many other Panther brothers and sisters, and the Republic of New Africa, and the Black Liberation Army, and certainly the Black Panther Party for Self Defense, because we were, and I know I'm leaving out other people, but what I said will suffice. We were the sisters. Now, this is important now. This is important because women want to look good. I still want to look good. Yes.
Absolutely.
Now, so what we do with our hair is very significant. So when during the movement, when it moved from civil rights to black power, because it did, all right, check it out. We knew that we would have to show, like James Brown said, that we were black and proud. So we couldn't just keep straightening our hair, although, sisters, if you still straighten your hair, that is fine. Okay. But we knew we needed to take a stand to really even understand what Black beauty was
Yes.
because we didn't know. Black people before the 1960s, and I'm definitely speaking about women in particular, although men too, but I'm going to stay with women. For us to be beautiful, we had to straighten our hair. We had to perm. We didn't even think about it. It was just what you did, as a black woman. Now, in the 60s, when we said, look, we're not taking this no more. We're not taking white supremacy. We're not taking police brutality without fighting back.
Mhm.
Okay? So we wanted to make a total separation from imitating white America to finding our own aesthetic beauty. And Rhonda, I'm gonna tell you, girl, I ain't gonna lie to you or the audience. When I decided, okay, Regina, I'm a teenager now. Now you know I wanted to look good in little pumps and skirts and tight pants. I said, now look, we got to do this. I mean, I had long talks in the mirror.
Mm.
Then I stopped straightening my hair. Okay. In fact, I had to get it. The sisters poured what was it, Tide detergent and bleach on my hair to get it to fluff up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So, and check this, Rhonda. There were no beauty shops or beauty salons that just dealt and I'm talking about black ones now, that just dealt with natural hair. So, what we were doing by taking that fabulous stance was to, in fact, create a new cultural form for black people in particular. And then, as you well know, the beauticians caught up and said, well, okay,
Yes.
what can we do? Since these girls are now wearing their hair natural, how can we, fit into that genre so that we could give them different styles? And today you got the little twisties, okay? You got skinny locks, you got you have all of these wonderful choices, and
Mm.
I just want people to understand what it meant for us to stand up in our own beauty and make
Yeah.
a decision that it is all right to be yourself. I had no idea, me and the thousands or millions more sisters who went, and we used to call it the freedom cut. We called it freedom. We actually called it that. We had no idea that the future would bring this variety of hairstyles that celebrate our natural selves. So I just wanted to say, because you look so darling tonight. I mean, really,
Oh, thank
just
you.
wonderful. So I just wanted, to let you know what you're doing, what you're inspiring, especially the young ones, okay, that they can have a buffet of hairstyles if they chose to. And many of
Yes.
you might have seen, if you didn't read the autobiography of Malcolm X, certainly you saw the Spike Lee movie of it. And you
Hmm.
might remember that Malcolm, he poured lye on his hair.
Yes.
So, and he's a brother, so brothers was into that too. It had to be straight.
Hmm.
So who were we imitating? We were imitating our enslavers because we had been enslaved for 3 centuries. And I want people to understand 300 years of bondage, because this is what we went through in this country. And today, in the 21st century, now, of course, we've made many strides, and though our history is not being put out like it should be, okay, it's not kind of every day like I absolutely want it to be. If you're of African descent, then
Hmm.
holidays are great because we fought for Martin Luther King's holiday. And I mean, I fought for it, with Coretta Scott, many millions
Yes.
more. I'm happy we have that holiday. This is good. But you, as a black person, you're supposed to you're supposed to learn a bit of history every day.
I'm
Okay,
so
because
glad
see,
that
you
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 said
you you
that,
got
Dr.
children
Jennings.
to bring up. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. No, Sam, I'm glad you said that because this is right now that with there being attack on our history, and history being taken out of the schools. It's even been taken out of the military's historic curriculum. The military was very good about teaching us about the historical figures, the historical black figures that shaped history. When I was in Iraq, there it was a unit there, a military unit there that was basically a descendant from the Tuskegee Airmen. If you went into their
Beautiful.
headquarters, they had pictures everywhere of Tuskegee Airmen. And there were a lot of this was I'm talking in like the last 10 or 15 years. So the
Okay.
military was very good about teaching our history, but now for it to be pulled out to where the Air Force says we can't teach it anymore because we have to take diversity, equity, and inclusion out of our curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
We can't depend on the schools anymore to teach our kids their history. It's going to be up to us and the griot tradition in order for our young people to have pride in who they are and to learn where they came from. So I think that's why I think this Black History Month event is so special. And I
Yes.
think what you just finished talking about makes it even more special. This is an important time, a very critical time in our history. And so I think that you coming next month is just going to be something everybody needs to make sure that they jam up in there and hear what you have to say.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to it. And, as a writer, I take this very seriously. I do not write for fun. I write for victory. I write for empowerment. I write for the youth. I also write
Mhm.
for middle-aged people, senior citizens. I write for everybody, in particular, everybody who's of African descent. And I must take a moment to even say this because the Africans was the first people on this earth. You dig? So that means that every other person, I don't care what they look like. I don't care what color their pigment is. Everybody on this planet comes out of the African physiology. So
Mm.
when I say my people, I'm talking about all y'all, all y'all. But I'm also specifically talking about those of us who face bondage in this country, because just like Dr. Rhonda just said, there is an assault now on our history. You see, schools want it out of the curriculum because it makes white students feel uncomfortable. Well, see, these aren't the white students that I've taught. Because, see, the white students that I taught, they were like, what? You, no, we didn't. I'm sure white students will come into my office and just have a meltdown
Mm.
because the history that I taught them, I always taught Black literature, and I start with Phyllis Wheatley, who published her first book in 1773, and she was enslaved.